Hello and welcome to another edition of News Showcase. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Reports say the Central Bureau of Investigation has carried out raids in several cities to break up trafficking rings that smuggled people to Russia. The raids targeted agents in Chennai, Madurai, Delhi, Mumbai, and 6 other cities across India. The move follows the death of an Indian national who was duped and sent to fight in Ukraine. Reports said suspects have been detained during the crackdown after complaints were filed with the authorities. Reports that first emerged weeks ago said about 100 Indian citizens signed up for support jobs with the Russian military, but they ended up in combat roles with the Russian invasion force. The Indian Foreign Ministry has said it has taken up the matter with the Russian authorities. The International Women's Day was observed across India and around the world as governments, activists and charities vowed to continue their campaign for women's rights. In 1910, women's rights and communist activist Clara Zetkin came up with the concept to make Women's Day an international event. She brought it up in Copenhagen during the International Conference of Working Women. The 100 women attending the meeting from 17 different nations overwhelmingly agreed with her proposition. 1911 saw the celebration of the inaugural International Women's Day in Germany, Austria, Denmark and Switzerland before it spread around the world. In 1975, the United Nations began commemorating the occasion and picked the theme, Celebrating the Past and Planning for the Future in the year 1996. Hindu devotees thronged temples across India to mark Mahashivratri festival. A flood of worshippers were seen at the Kashi Vishwanathan temple in Varanasi in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Mahashivratri, or the Great Night of Lord Shiva, is considered one of the most auspicious days in the Hindu calendar. Devotees also headed to the 11th century Lingaraj temple in Bhubaneswar in the eastern Odisha state and to the Sri Mahadeva temple in Aluva city in Kerala in the south of India. The event is celebrated annually as the night of convergence of Hindu gods, Shiva and Shakti, which is seen as the coming together of the male and female energies that keeps the world in balance. According to religious beliefs, the gods are revered as the embodiment of love, power and oneness. Renowned sand artist Sudarshan Patnaik needs no introduction. He is back with a stunning creation to mark Mahashivratri on a beach in Odisha. The spectacular sand art features 500 shivlings with its intricate detail and spiritual significance that mesmerized onlookers and captured the essence of the religious event. The display stood as a testament to the artist's skill and reverence for religion and drew overwhelming admiration from the spectators. Patnaik said 6 tons of sand was used to create the 500 shivlings and the entire artwork. The artist has scores of similar art creations to his credit displayed on the famous beach in Puri to mark important events, religious occasions and to pay tributes. Reports from Rajasthan say at least 14 children were seriously hurt after they suffered electric shock as they took part in Mahashivratri procession. Police in the city of Kota said 2 of them suffered severe burns and they were in a critical condition. According to reports, the other children suffered less than 50% burns and they are being treated in a hospital. A high-voltage power line that ran overhead was blamed for the incident, but there was no word on how the children came in contact with the line. Authorities said an investigation has been ordered to find out how the accident occurred, which has overshadowed the religious event taking place across the country. The Congress party says it has finalized candidates and their seats in at least 10 states for the general elections. Reports said the party's top leader, Rahul Gandhi, will seek re-election from Wayanad, a constituency in southern Kerala state. The reports follow a marathon meeting Thursday, which lasted till midnight. It said former Minister Shashi Tharoor is among the candidates and the party will contest in 16 of the 20 seats in Kerala. According to reports, state ministers in Karnataka state, which is governed by the Congress party, are not contesting in the general election. The Congress is the dominant political party in the newly formed India bloc. With over 20 parties in its ranks, it hopes to unseat Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who will be seeking a 3rd straight term. Reports indicate that the Telugu Desam party in Andhra Pradesh is most likely to join the National Democratic Alliance in the upcoming general election and the state polls. The party's leader, Chandrababu Naidu, held talks with J.P. Nada and Home Minister Amit Shah, both from the BJP. It is the second round of talks between the two sides, which triggered speculation of an imminent tie-up. The TDP is a former ally of the BJP and played a key role in the National Democratic Alliance till 2018 before quitting over differences about federal funding for the state. According to reports, the BJP is seeking to contest in 8 of the state's parliamentary seats in the polls due by May. India is set to withdraw its first group of military personnel from the Maldives on Sunday, and they will be replaced by civilian technicians. Maldives has told India to pull out all its 80 troops by May 1st, an election pledge by President Mohamed Muizzu to keep foreign powers out of the country. Reports said both sides reached a compromise that would allow civilians to maintain Indian military aircraft that will remain on the island. In recent days, a Chinese research ship, thought to be a spy boat, was anchored in Maldivian waters, much to the displeasure of India. President Muizzu, seen as a pro-China leader, also stepped up ties by visiting Beijing in January. India's Supreme Court has said that every citizen has the right to criticize decisions taken by the government. Reports quoting the ruling said that freedom of expression was guaranteed in the country's constitution. It also indicated that the police should be educated about these guarantees and sensitized about the democratic values enshrined in the constitution. The court's observation comes against the backdrop of a case against a professor in Maharashtra state whose WhatsApp status described the 5th of August as a black day for Jammu and Kashmir region. It was a reference to the government's scrapping of the former state's semi-autonomous status in 2019. The court also warned that dissent should be within the methods permitted in a democratic system. The mystery, the grief, and the never-ending wait continues for the families of 227 passengers and 12 crew members on flight MH370, which went missing on this day, 10 years ago. On March 8, 2014, the pilot bid farewell to Malaysian air traffic control less than an hour into a normal nighttime flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. The Boeing 777 was ready to enter Vietnamese airspace when it turned abruptly, cutting off all electronic communications. It is believed to have turned back, first over Malaysia and then out into the isolated southern Indian Ocean, before it was thought to have run out of fuel. Despite the world's largest and most expensive search operation ever undertaken, there's still no sign of the missing airplane. In a fiery State of the Union speech, President Joe Biden addressed the main issues of his re-election campaign while repeatedly criticizing Donald Trump. In a speech that lasted over an hour, Biden referred to Trump 13 times as his predecessor. He chastised him over the Capitol incident and accused his likely opponent in the election of bowing down to Russia. Biden also spoke about Gaza, the economy, immigration, and abortion. There were moments when the mood in the House chamber was boisterous, with some Republicans heckling and Democrats cheering loudly. The show was similar to a political gathering than the State of Union address. At the end of the speech, the Democrats seemed to be pleased that their nominee was ready for the challenge. President Biden also said the U.S. military would build a port in Gaza to increase the amount of humanitarian aid that may enter the region by sea. According to officials, the temporary port will result in hundreds of additional truckloads of humanitarian aid being provided to Palestinians every day. In his State of Union address, Biden made it clear there will be no U.S. troops on the ground in Gaza. He said that a temporary pier will be used to move supplies from ships at sea to ports on the coastline. The pier will be built by the 7th Transportation Brigade, which is designed for rapid deployment, but no military ships have yet left the U.S. Known as the media mogul, Robert Murdoch is set to be engaged to his girlfriend Elena Zhukova, which will be his 6th engagement. According to reports, the 92-year-old has been seeing the 67-year-old retired Russian molecular researcher for a few months. The engagement will likely culminate in his 5th marriage at his Moraga vineyard and estate in California. U.S. media reports the wedding is scheduled for June and invitations have already been sent out. The Australian-born billionaire was rumored to be seeing Zhukova shortly after the dramatic cancellation of his engagement to former police chaplain Anne Leslie Smith last year. Murdoch founded News Corp in 2013, and he is the proprietor of hundreds of local, national, and worldwide media businesses. Thank you for watching. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Do tune in, same time tomorrow, for a roundup of the latest news and updates in India and around the world.